Hey everybody, welcome back to Everyday Art by Brittany Gunter. So, a couple things. First things first, the pour that we did on this surface last time was the attempt to use the Floetrol as a base on a painting and see if it would work. And judging by the skin that was supposed to be a skin that's been here for 8 days now, it doesn't work, and I'll show you why. I just scraped a bunch of it over, and this is the pile of paint. This is what's left. Now, I don't know if it's strictly because I mixed it with Floetrol. I mean, I used Floetrol as the base, or if it's because it's been cold in here, and it may be a combination of the both, but I'm showing you what happened. Okay, so to get into today's video, before we do any more painting, I have some old bottles. I have a Liquitex varnish bottle. I have a Life Water bottle. And then I've already done the black and white in some beautiful artisan water bottles that my mom gave me. So the black and white's already mixed. And then for today's video, I have just a regular water bottle for the red, because I don't use it as much until I get another bottle. But I like the firmer bottles normally, so that's what we're going for. And we're just going to mix some of my basic colors. The ones we're mixing today are all Artist Loft Flow Acrylic, and they all have the freeze and thaw stable. That's really important where I stay, because the temperatures can go from 70 one day to 20 the next day. So that's really important for me, especially my art room, which doesn't have a heater. You may hear the plug-in heater blowing while I'm here. That may mess my sound up. If so, I'm very sorry. Okay, so first I'm going to take the Liquitex container, and we're going to use it to make the blue. And because I don't want to mix it wrong and it not be perfect consistency, I'm going to take a smaller cup and mix batches of the blue, get the right consistency, and then put it in here. Because if I put it all in here and then just shake it up, it doesn't always mix correctly. Some of the paint, because it's denser, will stay at the bottom and not mix correctly, and I just prefer to make sure mine's mixed. So, we're going to do the same that I always do. 1 part paint, 1 part Floetrol for this paint. No water unless needed, and normally I don't need water for this. I don't use water. I did use water on that new paint that we purchased, just because it kind of needed it. Add a little bit more. I want to leave some room at the top for stirring so that it's not difficult to stir. There we go. I do have pumps for these, but I've never tried them because I've worried that I would lose paint in the pump. But for this mixing purpose, it may actually be better to use the pump. And I'm just watching the side of my cup at the levels, and I'm trying to just match 1 part to 1 part. And I'm almost there. There we go. That's pretty close. And then I'll just mix. Making sure I get the whole bottom and stir completely, lifting up and moving around. Scrape all the edges. And the main focus is making sure there's still, you don't see any white Floetrol, like that little line of white. I don't want that. And it's still a little thick for me, so I'm going to add just a little bit more Floetrol. And I'm pouring it from up high so that it goes all the way down, which makes it easier for me when I'm mixing, because it's not just sitting on the top. much better. Now I'm just going to clean the stick off, set it to the side, and pour in. Plus, every time I pour another cup in, it's going to shoot to the bottom because of the distance, so it's going to mix in each separate set, and they'll mix in together pretty well. And this may take a while, so I may not do all the colors on video. I may just do this one color so that you can kind of see what I do. That's why I didn't do the black and white on video. Because just the process is really long. I will have to add a little bit more Floetrol to this after I stir, but I don't want it to come out because I put a little bit more blue in the first time. This time than I did the first time. But I don't want it to come out, so I want to stir it pretty well, and then I'll add Floetrol. I will mention that my nails came off. I actually broke a couple, and then a couple came off while I was whelping a litter for a local breeder. I had gloves on for a long period of time, and I think that made the glue less of a hold. There. And I'm mixing up these batches mainly because I'm getting ready to go out of town for a week. And I wanted to have some that I could do with until I go out of town, because before I go out of town I'm going to pack some paint. So I'm going to pack my big containers in Floetrol. And I'm going to leave these containers home, but these containers will most likely be empty by the time I leave town, because I have some projects I want to do before I go out of town, and I want to just kind of get those spearheaded this week. Kind of what this week is going to be dedicated to.